Hi, this is Marek from Tryb Solo. Today I would like to tell you more about Chamber of Wonders, a game I got for review from Ludus Magnus Studio. And Chamber of Wonders is a game for 1 to 4 players that takes place in 19th century London, and your task is to create the most fantastic Chamber of Wonders, so a display of different and strange books and items from all around the world, maybe some monsters and different strange things. So this is your main goal, and you will try to do it during the game. You will send different agents to different locations of London, and they will help you to acquire different wonders that you will be able to display in your showcases. This game plays solo as well. You play against AI opponent called the Collector, and it's not a long game. The box says 30 minutes, and I think it's a very accurate time. You can easily finish the game even at a 4-player count in half an hour. Let me show you how the game plays, and then I will tell you my opinion on this game. This is Chamber of Wonders prepared for play. You have the main board with 4 different locations. They look like this. You have 4 different contacts, deck of wonder cards that you will be able to acquire during the game. You also have, each player gets 3 displays. Each display has 3 showcases, and you will be able to play wonder cards on these showcases. The wonder cards that you will display during the game will give you fame or victory points at the end of the game. Each player also gets agents. They are like workers, because this is like a set collection but also worker placement game. And during your turn you will send one of the agents to one of the locations on the board to perform some actions. The number of agents you get depends on the player count. In a solo or a 3-player game, each player gets 3 agents. In a 2 or 4-player game, each player gets only 2 agents. You also have some starting wonder cards, and wonder cards are the main source of fame points that you will get at the end of the game. The idea in this game is to display different wonder cards on your displays in showcases. There are 6 different types of wonder cards, and each type of wonder card gives you some different points and has some different, you can say, abilities or scoring options, because you have, for example, monster parts, and there are 3 types of monster cards. You have head, torso and legs, and you can display just one monster card as it is in your showcase, but you can also collect a set of 3 different monster parts. So if you acquire head, torso and leg during the game, you can display them as one huge monster in one of the showcases. You have legendary items, you have precious items. The precious items, apart from fame points, give you money during the game. Each wonder card contains the cost on the top left corner, fame value on the top right corner. The fame value will be scored at the end of the game. Here you have also type of the wonder card, you have the name, and some additional bonus that you can get if you manage to display the card. So how the game plays? It's very easy. You take one of your agents, and you have to place the agent on one of the available locations. Each location has got different action. So if you place an agent here, you will perform this action. The cool part is that the location boards are double-sided, so every time you play the game you will randomly choose. You have more of locations in the game box, so you can randomly choose different locations and different size of the locations. So each time you will play the game you will have different actions. And for example, if I choose this agent and if I place it on, for example, Abbey location, I will perform the action. The action says that I will take as many wonder cards as there are players in the game, I can reveal or take a look at the top card from the one I took, and I can decide which player will get this card. And I will do it with all the cards I have taken, so each player will get one card. I will decide which card to give to each player. Here, for example, you can sell a wonder card from your hand for the value written here, and you will get +3 additional money. So each location gives you different action. Here, for example, in Westminster, you will get 3 cards. You will keep one, and you will give one card to the player on your left and one player on your right. In Hyde Park, there will be an action. You will reveal 3 cards, and each player can bet money on the card to acquire it. So different locations. After you place your agent on one of the locations, you can, this is not a mandatory action, obligatory action, you can use one of the contacts adjacent to the location. So if I put my agent in the Abbey, I can use this contact or this, and they give you additional bonuses. For example, this contact will give you £3. You will get free money. And this contact will give you 1 additional wonder card that you will take from this deck of cards. So you will place an agent, perform the action, then you can use one of the adjacent contacts, and then you and all other players can display one of the wonder cards they have in hand. So for example, if I decide to display this Nupitarium, I will place it in one of my showcases. This card will give me £3. I can take £3, and that's it. But every player can display one wonder card in the available showcase. If a showcase is already taken, you cannot remove a wonder card to place another card. Sometimes there are some additional options that or actions that may allow you to do it, but normally when you place a wonder card in one of the showcases, it will stay there until the end of the game. And normally only one card can be placed in one showcase. If you have monsters and if you manage to collect a whole set, like head, torso and legs, you can place the whole set that contains 3 cards in the showcase. And there are also books. If you manage to collect the different types of books, you can place a set of different types of books in one showcase. But normally you can only place one card. After you place the agent, perform the action from a location and perform the action from a contact, you have placed a wonder card in your display, and another player takes his or her turn and will also take an agent, place it somewhere, and the game will continue. The rule of placing agents is that you cannot place 2 agents in the same location. So let's say all other players took the turn and it's your turn again. You cannot place another agent in the Abbey. You have to choose different locations. For example, in a 3-player game, each player has 3 agents. During the whole game, you will place 3 agents. Each player will place 3 agents, so the whole game will last 9 turns. After 9 turns, all players count the fame points from the cards, from any tokens. You can exchange money for fame. If you have any wonder cards left in your hand, you will subtract 1 victory point for each card that you have left in your hand at the end of the game, and the player with most fame wins. Sometimes you have cards like this grotesque wonder cards. So when you place this card in your display, we'll also blindly choose one of the grotesque tokens. They have different number of skulls, and for example, the player with most skulls at the end of the game gets this fame token that gives the player 3 additional points. So the game is quite simple. All you have to do in your turn is to place an agent, perform location, action, contact action, and then all players will display one card, one wonder card in a available showcase. So this is basically it. The cool thing is also that most of the actions from the locations also gives something to other players. So it's not only the player who plays the agent will get some bonuses, but usually all players will get some bonuses. So it's not like you don't have anything to do in other players' turns, but all the locations allow other players also to get money or get wonder cards, or I don't know, sell cards or do different things. In the game you have also clubs. This is an additional you can say module that you can add to your game, and each player will gain one card during the setup, and these cards give each player some special ability that can be used during the game. So this adds a little asymmetry to the game, because each player will have some different ability that can be used, but this is optional. If you want to play solo, the game plays very similar. You will play against the collector, an AI opponent. You will get 3 displays, and your opponent will get 3 displays as well. You will have 3 agents, and the game plays very similar with some differences. You have different contacts. These contacts here are used for multiplayer game. You have also 6 contacts only for solo. So during the setup of the solo game, you will choose randomly 4 cards, and they have different abilities than the multiplayer contact cards. You also have different location actions. You have 4 different location actions. They are double-sided with different actions on both sides. And you will have to cover the multiplayer actions on locations with these tiles. So you have special actions for a solo game. And how the game plays? You will place one of your agents, perform all the actions. You will place a wonder card in your display. You will place a second and third agents. After you place 3 agents on the board, the collector, the AI opponent, will have a turn. AI doesn't use any agents. AI only collects wonder cards. It will collect wonder cards during your turns. It will have quite a few wonder cards at the end of the whole round when you place 3 agents. Then when you take back your 3 agents from the board, the collector, you will take a look at the collector cards, and then there is a priority list in the rulebook, which cards or set of cards the collector tries to put in his display. He prefers monster sets, then book sets, and some legendary cards, and etc. After you place 3 cards for the collector, you play another round. So again, you will place 3 agents. After each agent, you will place 1 wonder card. After you place all 3 of your agents, you will again take the cards from collector, display cards for collector by the priority list, and you will do everything 3 times. So you will 3 times send your agents to the board. After that, you will calculate your points. You will calculate points from the collector, and the best person or AI wins the game. There are 2 additional rules that allow to make the game a little harder for you, but this plays really cool because you don't have to use any agents for the collector. You have just your agents, and the actions used in solo game usually give some benefits and bonuses to you, but also to the collector. The collector also gets money that he can spend on buying cards or on unlocking the coming soon showcase. The collector will also get grotesque tokens, will also get fame tokens. So he will basically acquire all of the things that normally a human player gets. He just doesn't use an agent, which makes his turn easy to maintain. So this is basically how you play Chamber of Wonders. Chamber of Wonders is a very surprising game for me, especially because even though the game is quite light and easy to play, as you might have seen when I showed you how to play it, it gives you a lot of fun, and you have a feeling that you are playing a full, proper board game and not a filler game, even though the gameplay takes about 30 minutes to play. Because you are doing a lot of interesting things in this game. You have worker placement elements where you have to place different agents, your agent on different locations. You have set collection, you have to collect the wonder cards. You have the contact cards that you can use, or you don't have to use, but you can use. If you add the clubs cards, you have additional abilities unique from other players. So there is a lot of things are going on in this game, but it's simple and fast. And this is really cool combo, in my opinion, because usually games that last about 20 or 30 minutes, they are like filler games, and after playing them you have a feeling that you have played something very light and not a proper board game. And Chamber of Wonders is different because it gives you the feeling of playing a proper gamer's game. I like that there is a lot of replayability in this game, because you have different locations, you have different agents, not agents but contacts, especially when you have this Kickstarter edition, because in the base game, the normal edition, you have 5 different locations. In the Kickstarter edition you have 8 locations. They have actions on both sides, so you have 16 different actions, and each time you play the game you only have you choose 4. So there is a lot of variety in this game. You have a lot of different wonder cards, you have a lot of contacts. It's really fun. I know that Ludus Magnus Studio, on their website, they have some expansions to this game, new sets of wonder cards. There is also this expansion, for example, with Sherlock Holmes called Chamber in Red, that you can add to your game. So there's a lot of variety in this game, a lot of ways to make it maybe a little harder or easier, or change different types of wonders if you have the different expansions. So the replayability is very high. Another cool aspect of this game is that even though you will perform only 2, maybe 3 turns in the whole game, 4 turns if you play a 2-player game, but with 3 or 4 players will only perform 2 or 3 turns. A lot of things are also going on in the turns of your opponents. So it's not this type of game where after playing your turn you are sitting and bored and waiting for another turn, but every location, when it's activated, will also give you some bonuses, like additional wonder cards or more cash, or you will be able to do an auction and get maybe a cool wonder card, or you will be able to draft cards. So it's really fun, because even though it's not your turn, you have things that you can do. After each player's turn you can play a wonder card, so it's really fun. I don't like games where you play your turn and all the other players have to wait to do anything. As for the player count, I think this game is very specific, because I think that the less players are in this game, the more strategic the game becomes, because if you play a 2-player game, each player will take 4 turns, 4 different actions. So 2 players, when they are playing the game, they have more chance to get better wonder cards, or maybe collect the cards they want. When you play a 4-player game, the game is more random, because each player will only have 2 actions, and all the other cards he will get sometimes depend on other players, so you can less make less strategic choices which cards to keep and which cards to play. So with 4 players this is more a party game, with 2 players this is more a duel game where you have more options to make some plans and strategy for your game. As for solo mode, it's quite fun because you play against the collector, and the collector will also display wonder cards. The collector will gain all the tokens, fame tokens, grotesque tokens. Collector will gain cash, but you don't have to perform all the actions for collector like for yourself. The collector's turn is really fast, so it's cool. It's not beat your own score type of game, but you have an AI that you can compete with. I just wish that maybe they added more locations for a solo game, because in the solo mode you only have, you can say, 4 different locations you can choose from. They have 2 sides, so each location has 2 actions, but you only have 4 locations, when in Kickstarter edition you have 8 locations for a multiplayer game. So I wish that they added more stuff for the solo game, and I also think that the expansions are not really compatible with solo mode. To play solo you have to play the base game. I don't think that adding additional wonder card sets or adding the Sherlock expansion, there is an option to play it solo. So if you play solo you have to play the base game. But this game is really fun. It's fast, it's easy to teach. I think that you can easily teach this game to non-gamers or casual gamers, and they will also have fun because the rules are quite easy. The game doesn't have any text. You only have icons on the cards and on the actions. So you can even play it with kids probably that cannot read, but can, you know, recognize symbols. Are there any disadvantages? I think the only one for me is maybe the size of this game, because this is a fast game that plays in 20-30 minutes, but it takes a lot of space on the table. You have this cardboard displays, you have huge board, and I think this game could be more compact. And if it would be more compact, it will be easier to take the game to a board game night or to take with you on some trip or holidays, because I think it's a perfect game to play, I know, when you don't have a lot of time for big games. So maybe a more compact edition of this game would be more fun for me, because now with this huge box I don't think I will be able to carry this game around and take it to friends or something. But the advantage of this solution is that this game looks really cool on the table, and all the cardboard elements, the buildings, the locations, and the cardboard display, it really looks great. So there are always cons and pros of every solution. If you like lighter games, not very complex games, but still games that have a lot of cool mechanics and are fun to play, I really recommend Chamber of Wonders. And thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel, click the like button if you like this video, visit me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.